this country is at war with Germany.
We had to do a job, and we did the job, and that was it.
The men had to go and fight, and the women had to take their place.
Soldiers, sailors, and airmen of the Allied Expeditionary Force, you are about to embark upon the Great Crusade.
Well, hello and welcome to the second episode here on the Foxhole Chat podcast. I'm your host, Josh.
And I'm Katie.
And with this being the second episode, this is going to be kind of our first topic-based one. And this week we're going to be talking about Normandy. So kind of our experiences of visiting the area. Obviously some of the battles that happened there. And just doing the could about Normandy and the area and D-Day, and how we found visiting there, maybe some tips, some travel tips, things to avoid. My awful story that I have that you can all have a laugh about. So why don't we start off, because Katie, you mentioned in the first episode that you visit quite regularly. I've only ever been there once, so kind of what's your experience visiting Normandy?
I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. There's so much to do, so much to see, and considering we've been going, well, Mum and Dad have been going over 30 years. I'm 30 next year. We're still finding new things to do.
Wow.
Still finding new things to do, and they're opening more things because they're finding old bunker complexes and digging them out. So, I can't remember, Maisie Battery, I think it was, has only been dug out in the last couple of years. And we've been going for 30 odd years, and they're still finding stuff. So yeah. I'll never get bored of it. There's always stuff to do, and we always go back to the same places as well, and I always find something new to find when we go. Always spot something new every time.
Yeah.
Where did you go when you went? So let's start with your story. Let's start at the beginning. Let's start with the story of yours.
Here we go. Yeah, traumatized me.
So so you've been to Normandy once.
Yes. Yeah.
And this happened.
Yeah. So literally just obviously started in the hobby and got super into it, and then I got the urge. I just really wanted to go, and I was kind of researching, do I fly to Charles de Gaulle and then get the train over to Normandy? And through my research quickly found out public transport probably isn't going to be the very best. So then I was like, okay, I'll get the ferry across. I'll drive down, because I live in Wales, North Wales. So we'll drive down to Poole, got the ferry across. I've never been on a ferry, by the way. I've only ever flown everywhere. And when I went to Belgium, as I mentioned in the first episode, that was through the Channel Tunnel. So I've never been on a ferry before. I just got a brand new car as well, literally like a month before, I think it was. Yeah, something like that, a few weeks to a month before. I'm very glad I did, because my first car, I loved it to bits, but it wouldn't have been good. I would have been a broken mess. Thank God for cruise control and heated seats, mod cons. Anyway, so yeah, got the ferry down. So went across from Poole to Cherbourg, and then drove from Cherbourg, and I was going to stay in Carentan, because I thought, oh, that's amazing. That's where Band of Brothers was. How cool would it be to stay in Carentan, the village where, Easy Company fought, and is an integral part of the D-Day campaign. Like, yeah, I'm going to stay there. Booked the hotel obviously way in advance. And it was quite a good deal. I was like, oh yeah, it's not too bad price wise. Anyway, so a long day travel. I drove down the day before, then got pretty much like the first ferry of the day, so I was up at the crack of dawn. Ferry was a few hours, maybe 2 or 3 hours. I can't remember off the top of my head. Got the ferry across. Everything goes swimmingly. Even the drive from Cherbourg to Carentan. I've never driven in any other country, by the way. So this was my first time driving in France as well. So I got all got a European driving kit from Halfords. And so yeah, I'm driving on the wrong side of the road because we drive on the correct side of the road.
We do.
So even the drive from Cherbourg to Carentan was fine. It was amazing because you drive and you see all these billboards of places like Saint Marie-Église, and you're like, as a World War II nerd, you're like, oh my god, I'm actually here. I'm driving through where it happened. Like I was like a kid at Christmas. I was like, oh my god, I'm here. So I was driving there and get to like the center of Carentan, kind of from what I can remember. And before I tried to research like where to park, because it was a hotel. It was only a small hotel. It wasn't like a Premier in here, where you would have like a designated car park. But there was like a car park opposite like the town. So I tried to find out, do I have to pay? How does it work? I didn't have a clue. So I was like, it'll be fine. I'll ask someone at the hotel. There'll be someone there on reception that I can just ask, how does it work? So I get there, luckily get a space, and then they'd message me on booking.com like a few days before saying, oh, this is the code for the door. Your key will be hung up. So I was thinking, great, I should get there in the afternoon. No worries, hopefully there'll be someone there. Get there, open the door with the code and stuff, get there, no key. Well, there is keys, but none with my name on, and none that even resemble my first or last name. So now I'm thinking, great, right, what do I do now? So then I ring. It's only like a little corridor as well for like a reception sort of thing, and there's no one there. And then there's like a door, and I'm thinking, well, I'll try and ring them. And I said to myself, what's the bet? And I ring this, and I hear the phone in the next room.
Yeah.
And it did. So now I'm like, crap, right, what do I do now? So then I tried to ring, that was like a landline, then tried to ring the mobile number, but it just wouldn't work. I tried everything. I tried putting the France area code in, tried everything. So now I'm like at panic stations because I'm like, oh my god, have I lost my money? I don't really have a hotel room. Like, this is a scam. I've been traveling all day. I'm really tired. So now I'm thinking, right, what do I do? So I was like, I know what I'll do. I'll find someone that speaks English and ask them very nicely to ring from their phone, ring this French mobile from their phone, because it'll work because we're in France. I went to the bank, I went to the post office, because I was like, official places, there'll be someone that speaks English there, surely.
You'd have
They
thought
did
so.
not. They did not. So I queued in the French bank for a good while, maybe like 10, 15 minutes, didn't speak English. Went to the post office, didn't speak English. Then resorted to a perfume shop, didn't speak English. So now I'm really at panic stations. And I'm in work, my brother's in work, so no one's picking up. And I think at this point, I just wanted to speak to someone who spoke English and someone that I knew. So I ring a good mate of mine, and I get through, and I'm like, oh, thank God I got through to you. I just need to speak to someone who speaks English. Like, this is the situation I've got going on. What do I do? Like, give me some ideas. And he's like, mate, you've literally done everything that you can. I think, you've covered all the bases. So more back and forth. I messaged them on booking.com, saying, I'm here, this is my reference number. Like, can you please help me? There's no key. Then my mate's fiance rings me as well. I'm really glad my phone worked as well, and I had signal, because I would have been screwed. So my mate's fiance rings me, and she's like, "Oh, mate, that sounds really shit. How can I help you?" So she's like, "Tell me where you are, like area wise, and I'll Google like other hotels and like B&Bs, and see if they've got any like rooms available." And then while that's going on, I'm like, "Well, I'll try and do something. I won't just stand here like a lemon." So then I was like, I'll try and find the tourist information centre. We've got some in the UK, probably in like bigger cities. So I'm thinking someone's got to speak English there because it's tourist information. Get there. and I literally see this lady like packing up to leave because it was like 4 or 5 o'clock at this point. So I'm like, right, well, you're clearly closing. Never mind. So then I walked to another hotel like round the corner, asked if they had any rooms. He said he was full. So I was like, right. And then I'd resigned to myself. I was like, I'm just gonna have to sleep in my car. I'm gonna have to sleep in my car in the middle of Karen Town. And that'll be me for the night. But anyway, my mate's fiance then rings me and she's like, right, I've rang a B&B and they speak English like well enough for you to have a conversation. And she said that she's got a room for you tonight, sort of thing. So I'm like, okay, so I'll give it a go. So I get in my car and on Google Maps, like where the pin was, no word of a lie, maybe this could be one of the first information, the photo packs that you mentioned in the first episode. I'll screenshot what it looks like on Google Maps because it is literally just where the pin is. It's just a field with a horse in. Genuinely, it's just a field with a horse in. So I'm like, right, that's all I've got to go off. So, and this was up out of Karen Town. So this was like Saint Com du Mont. So past the D-Day experience that way.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to find this place. I can't find it. I end up. It looks like a bit residential. Like there's like bungalows and like stone walls. So I'm like, surely this can't be it. And I thought there was like a farm. It looked what I thought to be a farm on the corner. I was like, well, it can't be that. That looks like a farmhouse and a working farm. So I'm like, oh right. So I park up and I'm thinking, what do I do? Oh, I'm forgetting a key part of or a funny bit. When I was in the original hotel, I thought I'll just take. There was a key without a name on, so I thought, oh, that might be mine. So I took it. I went upstairs, found the room, and like unlocked the door, and like slowly opened the door. And as I opened the door, I could clearly see like people's possessions. Like there was a backpack and like a packet of cigarettes. So I was like, okay, this is not my room. This is somebody else's room. So I slowly closed the door, like locked it, because there wasn't anyone there. No one saw me.
Yeah.
So then I was like, right, well, clearly that's not my room. So this was kind of in between friends ringing me. So anyway, this is back to me looking for this other place that my friend had found. And I'm thinking, what do I do? I should just take that key and just play dumb English tourist. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize. Oh no. But I didn't do that. I was like, no, that's not going to go well. I don't want to get shouted at. So anyway, I tried to ring this other B&B that my friend had found. I couldn't get through, and I thought, nah, stuff this. I'll just go back and I'll just wait. I'll wait. Someone's bound to appear. And as I'm driving back, I get a call through to my car, and obviously it's a French number. And I was in this moment where I was like, do I answer it or do I not? Do I carry on with what I think is the right thing to do and drive back to Karen Town? And I'm really glad that I did answer it because this will make sense later in the story. I answer it and it's the nice French lady that my friend had spoken to. She's like, "Oh, you tried to ring me?" I was like, "Oh yeah, my friend rang you. I'm in a bit of trouble with my original hotel." And turns out, yeah, they were in that farmhouse on the corner. I just dismissed it. She was like, "Yeah, with that." I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, I'll turn around, and then I'll come back." So I turn around, go back. Really glad I did because it was such a nice B&B, like way nicer than the hotel that I was going to stay in originally. And she was absolutely lovely, like young, like older than us, probably like mid 30s maybe. And it was a converted farmhouse. And you could tell they'd done really a lot of work, and it was absolutely beautiful. And I was the only one there because this was in March, so this is like off season,
out of season, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So I was the only one there pretty much. And I was just like super thankful, someone who spoke English, because I hadn't spoken to anyone for hours apart from my friends on the phone.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, she was really, really lovely and paid for like the first night. And I told her, she was like, "Oh, what's your original hotel?" And I told her, and she's like, "Oh, yeah, we've had people come here with troubles from them in the past, like people going for breakfast, and then there being no one there." So anyway, so I finally found somewhere to stay, and then because I was on my own, I just paid for one night originally, and then they were like, "Oh, I spoke to my husband, and we'll knock a bit of money off for you because you're on your own." And I was clearly like visibly distraught
Yeah.
from what I'd just been through. But it turned out amazing because yeah, it was an amazing place to stay. It was right up the road from the D-Day experience. Turns out the farmhouse was occupied in the war. And so she was telling me about the history and her family in the war because she asked me what I was doing. I was like, she's like, "Oh, you're here for, D-Day stuff?" I was like, "Yeah, yeah." And then on the last day, this is one of my favorite bits of the story to tell. But yes, it was the last day and it was the last morning, and I was having my breakfast. The food was really lovely as well. Literally, the eggs were from the chicken that was outside that would wake me up every morning.
Oh, nice.
Um, yeah, I kind of missed that actually. It's quite nice.
Mm.
Yeah, last morning on for breakfast, she says, "Oh, I have something for you," and she has pictures and it's about her family, and she's telling me some more about that. And then she gives me this little box. I'm thinking, "Oh, okay." Um, and what is inside is now one of my most prized possessions. I will never ever get rid of this, and I'm going to look after it for the rest of my life. What it is it's a piece of parachute that was used by an Allied soldier on D-Day that landed around the area. And from what I can work out, it's either going to be a soldier from the first PIR or 506. I like to tell myself it's 506 because Band of Brothers an easy company.
Yeah.
Um, and that's the story I'm telling myself. No, nothing against the 501st, but the 506 Screaming Eagles is just better. Um, you forget your 82nd Airborne, 101st all the way.
Yeah.
Um, and she also wrote me a little note as well. And also they have these little like business cards. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh,
we
nice.
could edit that. We could edit that in
Yeah,
as
yeah.
one of the pictures maybe. And it basically says, obviously it's a bit broken English, but the sentiment is still the same. It says in 1944 the parachute was here. In 2025 it was you. To never forget the price of freedom.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah. So even before this whole story, I was a big believer in everything happens for a reason. But everything had to happen for me to get that parachute, and now I'm eternally grateful that it did. And now I know like that place is there. I've already said to myself, if I go back, I'll probably stay in the same place because
Yeah.
I know them. I know they can speak English. It's in a really good area. So yes, that's my traumatic start to my Normandy. My only time in Normandy so far.
Oh.
But yeah, yeah.
At least you got something out of it at the end. You got to be in Normandy and you got a bit of a parachute as well. Bits of parachute aren't cheap as well. If you were to buy one off eBay, they're not they're not cheap or very common.
Yeah, true. Yeah, because I mean, why would you want to sell it if you've got it?
Yeah.
You're not going to want to sell that.
No, not at all.
Oh, right, well,
While you were there, what museums and battlefield sites did you go to?
I have another artifact. So I had this idea. I didn't realize until I got there that this was going to be allowed. But I made I bought a little Kilner jar for
Hmm.
like a quid, and then I'm going to use the word commandeer. I commandeered some sticky labels from my place of work. I pay my taxes and I work hard.
Yeah,
I'm allowed
it's
to.
fine.
They're not
It's
going to
fine.
miss a sticky label. And my plan was always to go to Utah and Omaha Beach. So I made a little sticky label. Oh, I'm terrible at this. Ah, there we go. Yeah, there we go. And then that was the date. Ooh, here we go. That was the date that I went, 27th of March 2025. And then I put the D-Day date as well, 6th of June 944. And yes, it's sand. It's sand from both Utah and Omaha. Because I didn't know if that was going to be allowed. So I was there
Mm,
like trying to be dead sneaky.
yeah.
Like go off to one side. It was only when I went to, I think it was the Overlord Museum. up from Omaha, where they sold little sand jars. I was like, oh, this is the thing. I didn't need to
Yep.
be
Yeah,
like
it's
covert.
no, it's very much a thing. I
Yeah.
have a jar of sand from each of the 5 beaches
Oh, nice.
on my TV stand at the bottom of my office,
Nice.
which may or may not be my bedroom, but sure.
Ah.
Yes, that's very much a thing. I've seen jars of sand from like Okinawa and Iwo Jima as well, like the black
Wow.
sands
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
as well. So yeah, that's very much a thing of battlefield dirt.
Yeah. I kind of got the idea, I don't know if you did the same, was actually watching Saving Private Ryan, when Sergeant Horvath, um, the scene where he's getting the dirt after they've stomped.
Mm,
One says Africa, one says Italy,
yeah,
and he's putting it in his satchel. I was like, that's awesome. Like, it's an awesome scene because you're like, wow, these guys have been through all the major campaigns,
yeah,
now including D-Day. So I thought that that would be a really nice idea. But yeah, I mainly because I wasn't there for long. I was only there for God, maybe 2 full days, 3 full days, something like that. So I kind of hit up the big ones. So Utah, Omaha Beach. Utah was where I went first, and that was really it was really quite moving. As a first timer, I think this is maybe a good
mm,
perspective. Like if you're watching and you're thinking about going to Normandy, kind of use me as an example, sort of thing. It's very very moving, because you know what happened there. It doesn't matter what beach you go to, fighting happened, men lost their lives. Obviously some were worse than others. So yeah, I mean, I'm in no way ashamed to say that I cried when I was there. Because I made a little playlist as well beforehand. Like I literally called it my war playlist. And it was music from Band of Brothers and Dunkirk and like other like classical pieces of music that
mm.
I think are like very suited to the topic of the Second World War. And I had my headphones on as I was walking on the beach. So I cried when I was on Utah Beach. Uh, I then went to the Major Dick Winters Leadership Memorial, his statue as well, which is amazing. I
Yeah,
definitely recommend going there and just paying homage to him because it's in Band of Brothers country there, and then went to the memorial at Breakhorn Manor, which is cool because if you're a fan of the show, to go there and go, wow, this is where that thing actually happened, and I'm looking at it with my own 2 eyes, and
yeah,
I'm here. It's a very surreal place, I would say, is Normandy. I think that's the word. I think the most, yeah. What's the where the American cemetery is? Is it Saint Com? No, it's not Saint Com du Mont. Um, or is it? That's going to really annoy me. Um,
yes. Oh God.
or is it? Here we go. This is a test of my knowledge. Or is it Colville-sur-Mer?
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
Colville. Yeah, yeah,
Ah, he knows his
yeah.
stuff.
Colville Sumer.
There
I
we
thought it
go.
was, but I wasn't sure. But I thought we need to get that right. So yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, Colville
yeah.
Sumer.
There we go. Yeah. So yeah, I went to there on I think like the second day, and that was as I got there, it was just kind of finding my way through, and yeah, got there like 10:30ish, and as I'm walking up the steps, they're kind of playing the American national anthem,
Mm,
like through the chimes, I think it is, like through the speakers, and weirdly, I know some of the words to the American national anthem. Don't ask me why. So as I'm walking up the stairs, I'm kind of singing it in my head,
mm,
and then obviously as you go up the steps, and then it kind of opens up, and you see all the graves to the right, and then you've got like the curved stone wall where the big statue is,
yeah,
and there was quite a big group there, um, and I kind of walked towards the center where this big group was, in between the two big maps. You got the two big maps either side,
yeah, yeah,
um, and it was clearly like something was happening. They played the national anthem, the American national anthem, and then they kind of did, was it the last post? I can't remember. I think they did. Um, and when that was happening, I just kind of turned around and just looked down. So you've got that the kind of pool of water in the
Yeah.
center, and then the graves. And as I feel like James Holland and Alma really said this, the bottom lip is allowed to wobble.
Yeah.
And it most certainly wobbled again. I cried again because I don't think if you go there and you are afflicted by the Second World War and you don't get emotional, I think there's something wrong with you. I think you've got a stone of
Yeah.
heart, or a heart made of stone, even. And yeah, I just walked around. I walked around pretty much the whole thing. And it was a really beautiful day. It was dry, it was sunny, it was a bit chilly, but it's my favorite weather. And I remember I just at one point I got about halfway round and sat on a bench and just listened to the birds chirping.
Mm.
And it's a very moving place, but it's a very beautiful place at the same time. So yeah, I kind of hit up the big stuff really. The big museums. Overlord Museum is an amazing one.
Yeah.
Um, I'm very jealous of their gift shop. That is a very dangerous place
Yes, it
um,
certainly is.
to
Yeah.
go. And I was on a tight budget, and because there's all like the Cobby stuff, the building sets, and all the books, and like all war paraphernalia. I was like, this could be dangerous. Like if I wanted to, I could go crazy, but I had
Yeah.
to.
Well, they do have an online shop and they do ship to England.
It's funny you should say that. They do, because I remember seeing a 101st Airborne hoodie, and I thought about getting it when I was there. I was like, no, I need to be careful with money and stuff. And then it was a few months later, and I looked online, and it had cost me like 100 quid, um, like the hoodie, and then plus the shipping, it'd be like 100 quid,
Mm.
and I was like, I don't know if I can justify that.
Yeah.
But I have been thinking about that again. I did think, should I just do it? Because I don't know when I'm going to go back to Normandy again. Like, and I think about that hoodie like every now and again.
Mm.
But
Well, we're going in September, so if you still want it in September, we'll probably be going to the museum, so we could get it and post it to you.
oh, that'd be amazing.
Potentially, yeah.
Oh, that would be amazing. I will think on it some more.
Yes.
But
You've got 9 months to make your mind up, so yeah, just let me know.
What was I saying? Oh, the experience, yes.
Yes.
That is, uh, it's difficult to rank them because I've only ever been to Normandy, but that's one of the best museums I've ever been to.
Yeah, I
Like
have
the
to say
way it's set out.
I've written down 5 places in no
Okay,
particular order because I just can't pick a favorite place. It's
yeah,
just five good places, but any of them could be number one.
yeah. I totally get that. Because yeah, the D-Day experience, like with the C-47,
Yeah, that's
that was
wicked.
actually used
That's
on
so
Band of
cool.
Brothers. I
Yes.
love now being able to say because it was obviously it was used in the war, and then
Yeah.
it was used
Used
for
for the
Band of Brothers.
movies. Yeah.
Yeah, like that's a
Yeah.
double claim to fame. Because yeah, that's really cool.
There's not many places that do sort of like interactive things like that, where you get
No,
to actually ride in a C-47 and
yeah,
spoiler
yeah.
alert, spoiler alert, crash land in a field.
Yeah, I was when I was on it because I didn't research it before because I was like, I know they've got it, but I didn't want to look at videos because I wanted to
Yeah.
just experience it. And then obviously it takes off, and I'm thinking, well, how are they gonna like, how's this gonna work? Because like the story, you're like, well, they didn't land because they just dropped the paratroopers and turned back around. Like, is
Yeah,
that
member of
I didn't know.
staff's gonna grab you by the scruff of the neck and just chuck
Just
you out the
chuck you out.
door.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I was like, oh, do we need to hook up? Like, it could sound off for equipment check. Like, what
Yeah.
do I need to do? um, yeah, and yeah, that's an amazing story. They've got some really really cool artifacts there. So yeah, I kind of just hit up what I could in the limited time that I was there. But I don't mind not doing everything because then it gives me a reason to go back
Mm.
and experience new things. So that's kind of my take as a first timer. You're a seasoned veteran.
Yep.
So what's your take and experiences of Normandy?
It's been great. So we tend to stay in Arromanch, which is on Gold Beach. So that's the central beach out of the
Mm,
five.
yeah.
So it's an hour's drive out to St. Mary Glees and Utah Beach, and then it's an hour's drive the other way out to Ranville and Pegasus Bridge. So it's fairly central. So that's quite good. Um, we've had one bad year when we
Oh,
went,
oh
and that
no.
was surprisingly for the 80th anniversary.
Ah, of D-Day.
Yep, of D-Day. We
Ah,
went for the anniversary,
yeah.
and it was absolute carnage.
Really? Why? Okay, go on.
Absolute carnage. So if I
Go on.
remember right, Normandy throughout the whole year have about 1 million visitors for the whole year.
Okay.
In this 1 week
Yeah.
for D-Day, they had 3 million people.
Oh,
That's a lot of people on
yeah.
very narrow country roads.
I was about to say, disclaimer for the viewers, if you've not been, like, imagine our country roads. They're very, very similar in France.
Yeah,
These are small villages not designed for that amount of people. So
yeah, and
go on.
and you get the tour buses going down these country roads, like great big 52-seater coaches.
Yeah.
When you meet one of them going around the corner and there's like a brick wall and a house and nowhere to
Oh,
go, it's like, oh, that's a little bit bum squeaky.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, so that was the only bad experience we've had. We just couldn't get anywhere. Could not get anywhere because it was just so busy. But other than that, it's been absolutely fine.
Yeah.
So we've hit all the big places. So D-Day Experience, Overlord, Pegasus Bridge, um, all of that. We went to D-Day Collins Museum, yeah, 2025,
Okay.
in the July. That's only been open a couple of years, and it's one of the best museums we've been to.
Mm.
So they have a lot of stuff to look at in that, um, like dioramas. So they have like the mannequins and
Ah,
they're
okay.
setting the scenes
Mm.
and stuff. And I'm quite badly dyslexic, so
Mm.
standing and reading a lot of information does not compute with me. I want things to look at. Like
Yeah.
mum will read the information and then tell me the interesting bits,
Yeah.
or I'll research it myself,
Okay.
either before we go or after we've been.
Yeah.
But I just need stuff to look at.
Yeah.
And it used to be Lightning Joe Collins's um headquarters.
No way. That's awesome.
Yeah, so they've got mannequins of him, and the mannequins are lifelike. So somebody's painted Joe Collins
Wow.
as a mannequin.
Wow.
Some There's a couple of creepy ones that are
Yeah, I can
slightly
imagine.
that's slightly unnerving, but apparently
Yeah.
they're all based on real people, which is even scarier. Um, but yeah, that each room is basically this family brought a chateau
Mhm.
that hadn't been touched for 80 years, and then
Mm.
found the Germans literally just left everything behind,
Right.
and they turned it into a museum with everything that was left behind. So they just went room to room and dug up the grounds.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So you need to go there.
Is
It's
this,
it's
I was gonna say, is this the one where you can't just turn up, like you have to like pre-book? Or am I getting that confused with another one?
um no, I think that's another one. We just showed up and they just let us in.
Okay. I'm
Um,
I'm I'm just saying that because there is one, I swear it's Normandy, where it's like a private collection
okay.
and you can't yeah, you can't just rock up. Like you have to
Mm,
like email and book in advance.
okay.
I swear, World War Two Wayfinder did a video on it. Like he couldn't take his camera in
Quite
because he don't.
possibly, yeah. Mm.
They don't let you take your camera in. But anyway, carry on with
Yeah,
your
so yeah, that's
experiences.
the D-Day Collins Museums. That's an excellent museum for anybody listening. Um, so we go down into Arromanch, into town, so you can see there's still remnants of the Mulberry Harbour around the town. And when the tide's out, you can go onto the beach and look at some of the bits that are still left.
That's cool.
Yeah,
That's
so
so
that's
cool.
that's good. I also love going to Long-sur-Mer Battery.
Mm.
So that's literally on the outskirts of Arromanches.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the first place in Normandy I ever went to.
Wow. Okay.
So we go back pretty much every year, even though we've been before. You've seen it all before, so I don't care. I want to go again and
Yeah.
look at the big
Yeah.
guns and
Yeah.
some concrete with great big cracks in.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that's a great place. That is if I've spotted the other last time we went, if you look on the floor of the concrete, you
Hmm.
can see the boot prints, like the German hobnail boot prints
Wow.
in the wet cement that they must have walked across it while it was still wet, and you've got the imprint of the boots.
That's very un-German though, because you think like, German, we must do this correctly. Do not
Yeah,
step on the wet concrete. But
well,
I mean,
they stepped on the wet concrete because
they
you can
did,
see the
yeah,
footprints.
yeah. I mean, to be honest, it was probably it was more likely going to be a German commanding like prisoners or slave labor. Unfortunately, won't it? It won't be actual
Um,
Germans. Or what would you say? What do you
I
think?
think I think from doing a bit of research, it was a German construction company.
Oh.
Tot, something
Oh
Tot.
yes, yeah.
Yes,
Was it Operation Tot? Or was that, if memory serves me correctly, wasn't that like the name that they gave to the organization that were kind of responsible for building, yeah, the Atlantic Wall.
yeah,
Maybe, yeah.
yeah,
Don't
something.
quote us on that.
Yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, they had. I don't know if it was a construction company or a construction part of the German Wehrmacht.
Hmm.
That built it. So I don't think they were. They might. I mean, there might have been slave labor in there somewhere, but
Hmm.
I think possibly predominantly it might have been army based.
Okay. Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
but
That makes
it's
sense.
still a cool place to go. And obviously Pegasus Bridge. You know, a lot of American stuff gets mentioned with Normandy, like the 101st Airborne and everything, but Pegasus Bridge was just as important.
Hmm.
And the first house was
Yes.
liberated at Pegasus Bridge. It's now the cafe, and it's
Yeah.
still run and owned by the same family. I think the daughter during the war, obviously now an old lady, still runs it and owns it.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Absolutely
that's
amazing.
pretty cool to see. The
I,
museum's
I
fairly good there as well. So they've got the original bridge in the
mm,
museum, and they've had to obviously swap that out for
mm,
a modern day usable bridge.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
pretty that's pretty cool.
I actually, when I was in, well, I think it was Overlord, and it's towards the end, and there's like a corridor, and they had like all these pictures
Hmm.
on the wall, and some of them were like veteran pictures, and one was a picture of me. One of them was a picture of, I think it was Omaha Beach on the 50th anniversary, and they literally had like Higgins boats, and they had like battleships in the sea, and they had troops like on the beach, so it looked like a recreation. And I
Hmm.
remember looking at that thinking, that's amazing. Like if that's the 50th, like what's the 100th going to look like? And then I started thinking, because it was before either you or I was born. It was in 94. Um, so I was thinking, oh, what did if that's what one beach looked like, what did the whole celebration of the 50th look
Hmm.
like? And then coincidentally, I forgot about this for ages, and then one day I remembered about it, so I put it in on YouTube, and there's actually a guy who is the nephew of one of my mum's neighbors. He's the town mayor of the mayor that I the mayor. He's the town mayor of the town that I grew up in, and he uploaded the VHS of the 50th anniversary of D-Day
Oh wow.
from BBC, and I watched it. It's like, well, YouTube says it's 10 hours long,
Okay.
um, but it like repeats itself halfway through.
Okay.
I think it's something happened with the VHS or whatever, but
Yeah, yeah.
it's mental to watch because it's literally, obviously it's really grainy because it's
Hmm.
1994, but like it shows the Queen like setting off from Portsmouth, and like she sailed across, and they had the camera work is appalling. Like the BBC have definitely got better at that. Like literally, like there's the Lancaster bomber and Spitfire and all these aircraft, and they can't keep up with it. And I'm like, my guy, you're a cameraman. You have one job, just get the shot. Like the planes are
Yeah.
there. Like, and they have what reminded me was you telling me about Pegasus Bridge was they had is it Major John Howard who was there on Pegasus?
Yes.
Am I
Yeah.
yeah?
Yeah.
So they
Hmm.
actually had him there on the 50th, like he was still
Oh wow.
alive, and they had him at Pegasus. And there's a scene where there's him and the other people he was there with. Their names escaped me. I do apologize. And they have them in like three helicopters, and they literally match to where the gliders landed,
Mm.
and the helicopters like hover and then land where the gliders landed. It's
Oh
really
wow.
cool. It's really cool. I'll send it you after. It's worth the watch because you're like this guy actually fought there, and then
Mm.
he lived for the rest of his life, and now he's there 50 years later. Like it blew
Yeah.
my mind. And then he walks over the bridge as like 70, 80-year-old, however old he was.
Mm.
And they all look like the other veterans, they look old, but they still seemed quite spry and quite chipper. Um, which is a bit sad because obviously, when it rolls around to the 100th, there's probably not going to be there's not going to be any left.
No, I think that's why the 80th was so busy,
Do you
because
think?
it was the last big one with any veterans left.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I mean, I think they were all in the very late 90s and early hundreds. So then another 5 years to last to
Hmm,
the 85th. So I think yeah, the 80th was the last big one with veterans.
hmm,
So it'll be interesting to see what the 85th and the 90th's like in a few
yeah,
years.
yeah. So would you
So
say, even though you had that quite bad experience with the 80th. Do you always kind of go the same time of year? Like, how does it differ throughout the year from your experiences?
no, so off season's obviously quieter than D-Day week itself. So we've been all year round. I think we've been when there's been snow on the ground before.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so we just go. We fit it around my work holiday.
Ah, fair.
So
Yeah,
basically, if we go to Normandy, that's generally my 2 week holiday from work.
got you. Yeah,
So we're going in September.
nice.
We went July in 25 and then June in 24. So it varies from year to year depending on when we can go and sort of like what we want to do when we do go.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
yeah.
yeah, obviously off season's quieter.
Hmm. How do
Um,
you? What about travel wise? How do you guys get there?
but it varies. So we've got a motorhome.
Oh, nice.
So that
Very
that
nice.
makes life a little bit easier.
Yeah.
I get seasick
Ah,
quite a bit.
yeah.
So we do boats. I do kick up a stink about it, but we do go on the boat occasionally, but other times we just get the Channel Tunnel and
Yeah.
then just drive. Because we either spend 5 hours on a boat
Hmm.
or 5 hours in the van driving
Yeah.
from Calais.
Yeah.
So it swings and roundabouts, but yeah, I get seasick, so we tend to go for the Channel Tunnel and just
Yeah.
drive, to be fair.
Yeah, that's fair enough because I get quite bad travel sick as well. First found out when we went to Florida when I was 7. None of us had ever. I don't think any of us. Well, as a family, we haven't been on a plane together. Turns out I get very motion sick, um, and I, as a 7-year-old boy, threw up.
Oh,
Um,
lovely.
so had to go through American customs, covered in my own sick. Um, so kind of took that lesson, and then when I went, I bought travel sick tablets. It was more
Mm,
like a just in case. Better to be safe than sorry.
yeah.
Um, and I don't want to trigger it or trigger anything, but because I went in March, it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too choppy, but there
Mm,
was times where I was sat, and you can see the doors swinging, and you can see the
Yeah.
floor, and I'm walking, and I'm like, oh God.
Yeah, that's the only issue with the boat, because it's on water and on like on sea level. If you get hit by a storm, it's going to be a bit rocky. But at least
Yeah,
with the Channel Tunnel, for starters, it's only half an hour.
yeah,
It's underground,
true.
so by the time you've boarded, sat and read a book for 10 minutes, you're
Yeah,
practically nearly there.
yeah.
So that's and then it's just a 5 hour trek the other side, but you can do stuff along the way. If you go, depending on which way you go, you can just hop along the coast and do stuff along the way.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question, actually, because when I drove, I just drove on whatever road. It was like the equivalent of like a dual carriageway
Yeah,
in this
be the
country.
N13 or something. Probably that's the
Yeah,
main road through Normandy.
yeah, I think that rings a bell. Because like I said before, I did think about doing the Channel Tunnel and then driving, and I was thinking I'd rather get the long drive done in this country, because I've never driven
Yeah,
in France before.
yeah,
But now I've driven there, I don't know, because I know that this is our Normandy episode, but I did think about going to Belgium,
mm,
and doing that way. So driving, getting the Channel Tunnel, then driving kind of across Europe, really.
mm.
Um, but yeah, I think whatever way you go, I think Normandy is worth going to. I'm
Oh
sure
yeah,
you'd agree with
yeah,
that.
yeah, definitely.
Um, so if you were to say, uh, what's your, I'm going to ask you a tough question here.
Go on.
What's your, if you could pick one like top highlight, like you get teleported to Normandy, and
Yeah.
you've got 24 hours. Like, what's your highlight?
Oh,
Where you going first? What's your go to?
um, oh, don't know.
It is a tough question because
Yeah, that is a tough question.
there's so much.
Um, to be fair, probably Aramanch,
Yeah.
because there's the beach and the gift shops and a couple of nice little foodie places to get food, or or St Mary Glees.
Mm.
Um, it's a nice little cafe on the corner. There's a cafe on the corner, then a bar, and then a military shop.
Mm.
So that makes a nice little
It does actually. That sounds like a
night.
good. You can have your lunch. You can have some
Yeah,
Calvados, and then you can go because you're drunk. You go and spend all your money
ex
on Militaria.
exactly.
That's a good day.
Yeah, yeah. So I think a mix between Aramanch and St Mary Glees. I think.
Yeah.
What's yours?
Oh, as soon as you were answering, I was like, she's gonna throw it back at me here, and
Of course,
I gotta think of something.
you're not pinning me with a hard question and not answering it yourself.
Yeah, that's fair. Do you know what? I would probably take Utah Beach, because just being on the beach, if I'm teleported, as long as I'm there and I've got my headphones and I can listen to my playlist or an episode of We Have Ways, because then you're kind of still in Band of Brothers, so you
Yeah,
could go to
yeah.
the Dick Winter statue, you can go to
Mhm.
Breakall Manor, um, because yeah, I just think there's some days like people talk about like happy places,
Mhm.
and I probably got a few, and even though I've only been to Normandy once, I think just being on those beaches, even though like I said before, they're a very moving place, you know what happened there. Um, it is still quite a calm and relaxing place. Um, especially being a beach, so you've got the waves. Um, because on one of the days, it's quite apt, really. I literally started reading Band of Brothers as I was looking at Omaha Beach. I was just sat on a bench.
Mm.
I thought this will be nice. I'll start reading Band of Brothers while I'm here. Where a lot of the stuff happened. Um, so I'd probably say, yeah, if you just teleport me to Utah Beach, I'm gonna have a good day. Um, because I'm not in work, and
Yeah,
I'm surrounded by the Second World
bye.
War.
Yeah, that's always good, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
So as you've only been the once, you might not be able to answer the next question,
Okay.
but you might have seen places, the unsung places that don't get the popularity that they possibly should. So I've got inland. So obviously you've got D-Day landings on the beaches, but then obviously you've got the Battle of Normandy afterwards. There's loads of stuff inland to do. Admittedly, we haven't done much of it. But that would be quite good to do someday. That doesn't get much recognition. But also there's a museum in Port-en-Besson, which has a load of D-Day wrecks.
Okay.
So after the war, the French government, because it's a seaside, the beach, the French government are like, we need to clear all the debris out of the bays and the water so it's safe and environmental for people to go on holiday and stuff. So one of the guys that was helping do the diving and find stuff basically kept some of it and stuck it in a museum.
I mean, you would, wouldn't you? I would.
Yeah, exactly. Why would you not? So they've got full-blown tanks covered in barnacles.
Wow.
Practically half a battleship. They've got like the rudder and the engine and bits and pieces. It's only a little place, and I think it's only run by like one guy, which was the diver. But it's basically all the underwater things that they found. So there's personal items, tanks. They've got a sea mine and a torpedo.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's definitely worth a visit. That is. It's only little, and it's not much to get in, and it won't take long to go round it because it's not that big, but it's definitely worth a look. That one is.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like it. God, as far as like unsung places that I can think of, I've not gone as far as you have and as much. But I think, like you said, just an appreciation for the rest of the battle, really. Because I know you've read it as well, James Holland's Normandy 44 book. And have you watched the series that they did that's linked with that book as well?
Yes. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think so.
yeah, because that's good as well. So I think even if you just go to Normandy and you kind of read up a bit more about not just D-Day, but kind of what happened after, I think that's kind of an unsung part of it. Because I think for a lot of people, they think, "Oh, D-Day happened and then we won, and that's it."
Yeah.
Things like Market Garden and the Battle of the Bulge. To the general public, they're things that they don't know about. So I think if you have kind of a bit more of an appreciation of what happened in other areas, that can kind of open your eyes a bit more. I think when I go back, because I am determined to go back, I think having read more now, I might notice those things, and I might go a bit further, because actually there's one place that I did kind of want to go that's in that series that James and his name was Mike something, I can't remember. He's an American guy, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Where I can't tell you where it is because I can't remember. But it's where they go up those steps and you can kind of pretty much see like the
Yes.
entirety.
Mortain.
Is that it? Maybe, possibly.
I
It rings a bell.
think it's Mortain, because believe it or not, they have a Hell Let Loose map of Mortain.
Oh, there
And
you
I
go.
think, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Mortain anyway.
Yeah, because
But yeah.
that's definitely more inland, because when they went up those steps and they show the views, and like they said, on a clear day you can see Saint Mont Michel, which I love the fact that that's the inspiration for Minas Tirith as well in Lord of the Rings, which is a nice little fun fact for any Lord of the Rings fans listening or watching. Yeah, because I just kind of want to go there because that view just looks amazing. And then I think going there, you get an idea of the scale, because you think, right, they landed on the beach, and then it's just bit by bit they have to conquer all of this land, and the prices that were paid, to push them back. And they had no idea, obviously. They're throwing everything at it. And the amount of reading James's book and reading about the amount of men and material that were put forward for this, it's incredible. And I think going there, um, it really gives you an appreciation of what a task it was. Um, and you know, even take Saving Private Ryan for example. That gives you a really really small glimpse
Mm.
um, of what it must have been like. Um, and I think if we can get close to like 1% of the stories of what it was like, then I think that's pretty much mission accomplished. So I think it should be on everybody's pilgrimage list
Yeah,
to go to Normandy at least once. Um, and yeah, because then I think Normandy gives you a better appreciation of the whole subject. I think.
yeah,
Anyway, I think it's a gateway drug
yes, yeah, it
to
certainly is.
the
Yeah,
Second World War.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
One place I want to go in Normandy that I haven't been yet is the airship hangar. Don't know
Airship
if
hangar.
yeah, I don't know if you've seen pictures of that. So I think
No,
it's
go on.
about a 20-minute drive from St Mary Glees. It's like up that way.
Mhm.
Um, and it's a massive hangar that they used to house airships in.
Right.
It's enormous. I'll send you some pictures and I'll
Yeah, yeah,
put
yeah,
them in here and in the photo pack and everything. But it's absolutely huge. So I just want to go see the size of that. Having not
yeah,
seen an airship before,
yeah,
just to see the size of the hangar of where they kept it in a field in the middle of the French countryside.
yeah,
It looks so good.
yeah, yeah. Have you ever been to I don't know what it's called. It's where they had that massive railway gun, and it's right on the coast. Um,
Boulogne,
is it Boulogne?
Boulogne,
Maybe.
yeah, it's
Um,
near Calais, like that way,
Possibly.
out that way.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. So you've been to it.
yeah, yeah.
What's that like? Because that looks insane. Like the
It is.
scale. Yeah.
It's huge. It's absolutely huge. You need to go just to see it once because you're not going to see a railway gun life size anywhere else. I don't know anywhere else that's got one, if there is
No.
anywhere else.
There
Um,
probably isn't.
but yeah, it's a certainly a sight to see. It
Yeah.
really is.
Yeah. I can imagine. Because weirdly, I was watching a, a car YouTube channel that I watch, and they were doing a road trip like through France, and they stopped there. And obviously they're car YouTubers, they don't know about the Second World War. Um, but even I was like, that looks insane. And then I
Mm.
think there was another video. He's called Bruce. Is it Crompton? The
Yeah, Bruce
guy.
Crompton. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
And I watched a random video of his, and he went there trying to find stuff to buy.
yeah,
Um, and I can't remember which video it was in, but one of them said like, they used to hurl shells like over the channel,
yeah.
and you just think,
Literally, it was pointing towards London.
yeah,
I think basically, all like the south coast.
just imagine
Yeah,
like you sat there and you just hear this like freight train like come overhead, and you're thinking, Jesus wept, but I think that's getting maybe a little bit nerdy. I think that's maybe one of the downfalls of the Germans in the war is that bigger equals better. Um,
yeah,
with anything. I mean, look at the King Tiger 2.
yeah.
Um, and the Tank Museum are obviously trying to get theirs going. And just why it doesn't need to be that big. Like
No.
bigger isn't better. Like the more complicated it is, I think this is really going to be a bit nerdy now, and I'll kind of pass it over to you in a minute. Would you agree that the simplicity of the Allies helped them immensely? And the streamlinedness of organization and just everything. They just kept everything to like not bare bones, but you get what I mean. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, massively. So one of the reasons the Allies won was mass production, and you're only going to mass produce something if it's basic and not over-engineered. But the German stuff was all over-engineered, and they just couldn't keep up with the demand.
Yeah, Yeah.
It's like basic things like the German gas mask canister.
Mm. Oh
So
God,
why
yes.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
why do you need the ridges on the side apart from a bit of grip, but it's got a strap and it's going to be slung over you anyway? It's
But
like,
it looks good.
yeah,
It looks good.
that
What you on about?
doesn't
It
need to
looks
look
cool.
good.
You know,
Needs to
big
function as a gas mask holder.
big cat. Hitler like big cat.
Yeah.
Tiger, tiger, tiger.
Oh.
Dear.
Yeah, completely agree with that one.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
And I think coming back to the Normandy topic talking about, I think that's the best place to see that in action, because the amount of stuff that is in the museums there
mm,
um, is just insane. It's something that was you would see like smaller vehicles like a Kettenkrad,
yep,
for example, and you'd have the bit in the museum and it'd say, "Oh, this was found after the war and it was used by a farmer, in the
yep,
1970s." And you think that that makes sense because you're a farmer,
yeah,
you've lost everything. It doesn't matter. It's got bullet holes in. It
yep,
works. I'm gonna use it to transport my apples and my pears
yeah,
and it blows my mind to just think that all those years later there was just some French farmer just bopping about on this little Kettenkrad that was used in the middle of a battle in the fight to free Europe. It's just I don't know.
yeah.
Blows my mind.
Well, my Jeep was used by a farmer after the war.
Oh really?
I
Wow.
don't think I don't think it over there. I think it was over here in Britain somewhere.
Yeah.
Because I think it might have been used on a base, on a
Yeah.
US Air Force base or something here, and
Yeah.
it was used by a farmer in Scotland for
Wow.
about 40 years or something.
And it survived in Scotland for 40 years.
Yep,
It didn't
it
completely fall
survived.
apart and rust.
Well, I'm presuming not.
And it's
It
still
look
one piece, so
it's still in one piece now.
yeah.
So
So when you got that, did you have to do much to it, or what was the
no, I got it running because we haven't got anywhere at home to do any major work to it. So the only thing I've done is taken the original markings off it, well, the markings that came on it,
okay?
because they were 101st Airborne.
Oh, what are you? You
I
should have left them
know,
on. What are you
I
doing? I'm
know.
joking. I'm joking.
But Press
Colonel
didn't have
Sink would
to.
be turning in his grave.
He would. I
I'm
know. I'm
joking.
sorry.
I'm joking.
But Press didn't have many markings on the Jeeps,
Yeah,
so I just got rid of the markings and put my own little insignia thing on it that I've
nice.
got.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just pretty basic and
So I might pepper your questions here now because I'm really intrigued. Um, yeah. So when you got it, and do you still have? I'm guessing does it have an MOT? And does it get serviced? Like, how does that work?
no. So vehicles over a certain age don't need an MOT.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Obviously they've got to be road legal.
Yeah.
But they're not taxed and they don't need MOT.
Yeah.
So mine's 1943, so it's 82 years old.
Blink heck.
Nearly 83 years old,
Wow.
and it's still going strong.
Yeah. Because I had visions of you like walking into a garage. Say you've got a problem with it. I touch wood, you don't,
Yep,
and it's all
not
fine. I
yet.
hope
No,
I hope
touch
I
wood.
hope I hope me saying this doesn't jinx anything. I just have visions of you like walking into a garage and being like, "Oh, can I put my Jeep in? It needs this looking at." And then they go, "Oh, what make is it? Oh no, it's a Jeep. It's a World War II Jeep." And them just going, "Right, okay." Like, and I would love to see a mechanic like who's never dealt with them in the past. Like, I'd love to be there and watch them try and like figure out. Do you get what I
Yeah.
mean? Because the
Well,
engineering.
luckily we know somebody who owns a garage and he's an old boy and he's into his classic cars. So
Okay.
he's used to the bolt on, bolt off, but the younger lads that work there were like, yeah, I'm not touching it. I won't know what to do with it. Because they're just like
Ah,
plug everything into a computer and it just tells you what's wrong with it.
yeah,
Yeah, I need an old school mechanic if I need
yeah,
anybody to work on it. I can do bits and pieces.
yeah,
But anything major, need an old boy mechanic
yeah. I
that
mean,
knows how to.
there's still got to be like you say, people who like classic cars
Yeah.
around. So there'll be a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah.
What's I feel like we're digressing a bit from the topic of Normandy.
Slightly. I
But
have got something to come back onto Normandy after the Jeep.
okay, cool. So have you driven that ever in Normandy, or has it just been over here?
No, just over here. France are starting to change their laws on
Oh.
towing vehicles and stuff, and we found last year, well, for the 80th, they weren't allowing vehicles onto the beach because they leak oil
Hmm.
and bits and pieces. So I want to take
Yeah,
my Jeep on the beach.
that'd be cool. That'd be
Yeah.
so cool.
So it's like if I'm not allowed to take it on the beach, sort of, what's the point?
Yeah, unless
So,
unless you really like, because I know in like the Netherlands and obviously around Market Garden and Arnhem and stuff and
mm,
Oosterbeek, like you see a lot of the Jeeps driving around there, and people love
yeah,
that.
yeah,
They cheer
yeah,
and they hop. I suppose unless you like that sort of attention, I think that might be the only, like you said, if you can't go on the beach, that's the only real reason you would
mm,
take it over there is because you want to kind of show it off to the people and you know you want that. I was thinking that would be awful to drive like all the way. I don't think
Oh,
it'd be
I would
possible.
no. I
No.
drove it to 20 minutes to a local cafe, nearly died twice, and could barely move when I got out of
Yeah.
it because it's
Yeah.
left-hand drive, so
Okay.
it's the wrong side of the vehicle.
Yeah.
There's no power steering.
Oh God. Yeah. I didn't even think about
The gears are all in the wrong place. So whereas we have first, that's
that.
reverse,
Oh God.
and then first is where second is,
Right.
second's where third is, and then third's where fourth is.
Oh, good Lord. That is
Yeah,
confusing.
yeah.
I
So
suppose you're doing that with your right hand as well, aren't you? You're not doing it with your left hand
yep,
like you would.
no.
Oh no. Oh
Hence
no.
the near-death experiences.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it takes some getting used to, but once you get used to that, it's dead easy to drive. And the
Yeah.
brakes are old drum brakes, so they
Ooh.
work
Yeah.
eventually.
Once they warm up a bit, once they've, you know,
Yeah, once you warm up and
yeah.
you've put your foot through the floor
Yeah.
to make it work.
Yeah. I can
So,
imagine.
but no, it's good fun. It's back to Normandy slightly.
Yes. Back to our
I
topic of Normandy.
I do have some gripes with
Okay.
Normandy. So over the year, I know it's not Normandy's problem at fault, but erosion and health and safety. So when we first started going, point to Hock, you could get in and out the bomb craters.
Mm, mm,
You can't now. They've fenced it all off, and you've got to follow this path.
right.
So that's a little bit disappointing. Don't know why they've fenced off the bomb craters and just let it get all overgrown. So you can't even see the bomb craters now because it's just
Oh,
that bushy.
yeah. Yeah.
And I know they've cornered off one of their bunkers next to the cliff because that's getting ready to go over.
Yeah.
And also Longsomere Battery, their command bunker, their observation bunker with the slit where they can see out.
Yeah.
That's been closed off
Ah.
because that's getting ready to go over as well.
Okay, so this has sparked possibly an interesting question that's popped into my head. So, in your opinion, do you think with the bunkers particularly, do you think they should do something to stop them and like preserve them? Reinforce them and put more concrete. What do you think?
I mean, I don't know how they'd go about that without it costing thousands, if not millions.
Yeah,
'Cause I mean, it's sad to see it go. Because I mean, eventually, I suppose we're going to lose all of Point de Hoc because it's on the
yeah,
cliff top.
yeah, yeah,
If that
yeah,
first bit's going, we're going to lose the rest of it as it all
yeah,
starts washing away
yeah,
potentially.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's sad seeing it go, but I honestly don't know what they could do about it
Mm,
in some respects because it's just Mother Nature, isn't it?
It is, and I suppose, you know, some people might argue, do you want to preserve those things because they were made by the bad guys? They were made
Yeah,
by the opposition. Do you really want to?
yeah.
Because for me, when I went there, when I went to Utah Beach, went on the beach and had a bit of a walk around, and there was like a bunker, um, like further back, set behind the beach.
Mm,
And I thought, oh, I'll go have a look at that. And I had a walk around it, but I didn't go in it because I don't know. For me, maybe I'm different. Maybe I'm an oddball, but I just didn't want to go in it because I know you could argue this. Well, they walked everywhere. My feelings were I didn't want to walk where Germans definitely walked.
mm,
Um, I just didn't feel right doing that. Like I walked around it, took pictures of it, but I was like, for me, I'm good.
yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
that's me being, I was going to say biased towards the Allies, but of course, it'd be a bit weird if I was biased towards, the enemy.
yeah.
Uh, there might be alarm bells ringing if that was the case. Because I was thinking, I commented on someone on Instagram the other day. Some guy was talking about video games. He was talking about the Sniper Elite games actually,
Mm,
and saying about people playing as the Axis invasion thing, where you can invade um, another person's game. And he was saying, like, why would you do that? Why would you want to play as the bad guys, the Germans? And then I commented something like, yeah, it doesn't sit right with me when people collect Nazi memorabilia. I hate to say the word, um, because I think there's a line between preserving history and making sure the stories don't go away. And then it's like when you've got a lot of that stuff, like what's your motivation? Like, you
yeah.
know?
There's a fine line in reenacting. So the German reenactors, like organisers and stuff, have got to be extra careful that they're doing it for the right historical, educational reasons and not for the
Yeah,
ideology.
yeah, yeah.
But for me, I enjoy looking at the German stuff because you don't see much of it around.
Mm,
It's like I've got
yeah.
a few German bits of militaria,
Hmm.
so I quite enjoy looking at that side of things.
Yeah.
More for the fact that you just don't see much of it
True, true, yeah.
around. So like being in Britain, all the military history coverage is generally from the British side. And then
Mm,
you've got all the American blockbuster movies and everything. So it's like, oh, what about the Germans?
mm,
So
yeah.
I do kind of like researching that side of things purely for educational and historical purposes. Nothing weird or anything.
No, 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 no. I think, yeah, it is always important to see the other side, um, and see their perspective. But yeah, like you say, there's a fine line. Um, and I'm trying to think of gripes, if I had any gripes from
Oh,
Normandy.
I have more.
Oh, you have
Not just that
more.
one. I have more.
Oh
It's
dear. Go
it
on.
it's I know it's becoming very commercialized.
Okay. Yeah.
So there's visitor centres appearing absolutely everywhere.
Hmm.
So that never used to be visitor centre at half the places. So like Point de Hoc, the American Cemetery,
Mm,
Longsamere. So they've now all got visitor centres. I get it. You know, if you've not been before and it's your first time, you're gonna want to read information about bits and pieces.
mm.
Just do your own research. Yeah, it's not hard. Also, I don't know if you might not have noticed it when you went because you predominantly stayed in the American sector. But where, because we stay on a British beach on Gold Beach,
Yeah.
all the little gift shops have a lot of American
Ah,
merchandise in. It's
yeah.
all American Airborne.
Mm,
Absolutely everything is American Airborne.
yeah.
I think in Arromanch, so Gold Beach, British Beach,
Yep.
the only British things I found is
Mm,
an RAF bag and a Royal Navy hoodie.
wow.
Everything else has been American, either airborne, Rangers, or
Mm,
First Infantry.
yeah.
That grates me. That does. It's like
Yeah,
you're on a British beach. Want to see British things in the shops.
British things for British people.
Yes, so that's
I'm
why I like
joking.
going. That's why I like going to Pegasus Bridge. Admittedly, it's all airborne stuff, but at least it's British.
Yeah, I totally understand where you're coming from. I think that's a symptom of um the way things played out after the war. Like, Band of Brothers, Saving Private Ryan, and
Mm,
Hollywood, the
yeah,
Hollywoodization of it.
yeah,
And I mean, look at the that Iron Mike statue in Lafayette
mm,
of Jumping Jim Gavin, and how cool he looks, and he's got the action pose, and his helmet's undone. Um, that's why people gravitate towards the Americans, because they think, oh, they all look really cool,
yeah,
whereas us Brits, so we've got the rubbish hat, we've got the rubbish helmets, and we're all
yeah,
skinny, and we didn't do very
yeah,
much. Um, but I think us going there, um, and doing something like this kind of keeps the other side and the other contributions alive.
yeah.
You talking about that reminded me of a funny story actually. When I came back from Normandy, and I was obviously showing people the parachute and my sand, and I took the sand to my dad's. I said, "Oh yeah, it's sand from Utah and Omaha." And my dad like loves. We always used to watch The West Wing and loves like the Apollo space program. Like we've been to Kennedy Space Center in Florida. So I was like, yeah, my dad will appreciate this. Like, I took it to him, and he was like, "Oh, well, it's not sand from a British beach, though, is it?" And I was like, "Well, I was like, well, no, but I was only there for a brief uh, period of time. Like, I didn't have chance to. If I would have gone there, I would have done the same, but I didn't have chance.
Mm.
Yeah,
The difference of it being a commemoration versus a celebration.
mm,
So over D-Day, over there, it's more of a celebration, whereas we see it
okay,
more of a commemoration. Admittedly, so their celebration is them being liberated.
yeah,
But it's like, where does the line of commemorating and celebrating sort of start?
yeah. I think that's a tricky one. If you want to go even broader, if you think about the topic as a whole. Um, I've thought about that sometimes as well, where when I've said in videos like, oh, it's nice that I found this out, or it's cool this, it's again, it's a fine line of we're not trying to glorify what happened. We're not trying to say that this was a good thing. I mean, it obviously needed to happen. Uh, that you can't escape that. Um, but yeah, I think that's a fine line of yeah, glorifying it, but should it be more of the whole West we forget, and those
Mm,
things that come from the First World War. I think it started out like that, and then maybe over time, um, yeah, it is more of a celebration. Particularly in like the Netherlands and because
yeah,
they were occupied and were liberated, so maybe it's a more of a celebration for them. Totally understandable. Totally understandable.
yeah,
Um, I think when if someone was to come up to me and say, "Oh, you're glorifying the war by, making YouTube videos and posting about it," and it's like, well, I don't think I am. I've always tried to just you're keeping the stories alive. You're paying homage to the people that sacrificed a great deal for us to have the freedoms that we do, and just because just because we get a bit giddy about dates and oh I love this is my favorite plane and oh my god did you read that fact and isn't that amazing.
yeah,
um I think that's just being passionate and being interested in it, and you know if you know um seeing how James Holland and Al Murray are about when they get excited about a topic.
yeah,
um they're not glorifying it. It's because they genuinely love the subject. I don't want to delve into too many details because I don't know if you watched it, the live stream that James did by himself, because I was busy. He was doing
Not
his
yet.
warm up.
No, not yet.
So I highly recommend going back on the Patreon and finding the link and watching it, because James tells a story, and it's an amazing story. It's both an awful story but an amazing story about when he flew in the Spitfire, when they did that, because they released that video,
Yes.
and because he's getting again, I don't want to tell the story because he told people not to spread it about, which is fair enough. But when he's telling the story, he gets very excited about what happens. He's like a kid at Christmas, and I was gobsmacked, and then I was also laughing at the story, and I was like, "Yep, I'd be exactly the same. I would be exactly the same." And I totally get it. So yeah, even though we get excited about this, we're not glorifying it, and I think
Yeah.
your observation about it possibly changing is valid for sure. Yeah. Yeah,
Anything
I
to
mean,
add?
I can't think of anything. I mean, I've gripes about, you know, Normandy. I don't think I've experienced enough. Maybe over the years, um, things will pop up. But
Yeah.
from your experience, I understand where you're coming from. But I think it's still an amazing place to visit, and
Oh God, yeah.
I'd
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I'd, I'd say people need to go at least once for sure.
Agreed completely. So with all of that being said, thank you for everybody for watching and listening and putting up with us for so long. And we'll see you all again next week for another episode.
Yep. See you next week. Cheerio.
See you then. Bye.